Hello, everybody. This is Kunal, and you are listening to the Recruiter Talks podcast. Now, why do we record this? To share experiences, learn from those experiences. So, here I am with my today's guest, bringing new perspective on the table. I will give you a quick insight about her, and then from there, we will take this conversation to the next steps. Today, I have someone who brings 16 years of experience in building and scaling businesses across fintech and the digital payment space. She has closely worked with founders and small businesses, helping them grow and thrive in an increasingly digital world. Over the years, she has also been a part of high growth journeys at companies like Razorpay POS, which was EasyTap before, companies like PayU, giving her a front row seat to how startup scales, team evolves, and market shifts. With a very strong background in sales, partnership, and business strategy, my today's guest brings a very grounded, practical perspective on growth, leadership, and execution. And I'm really looking forward to this conversation. So I request all my listeners to keep glued to this conversation because there's a lot of fun and quirky things coming up to this conversation. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, without wasting much time, let me introduce my today's guest, Shinda Shivaji. She has worked with global organizations, startups, and brings a lot of exposure. Shinda, welcome to my podcast. Really excited to have you on this conversation. So, a quick round of introduction, and then we can take the next steps ahead from here.
Thank you so much, Kunal. I mean, that was one hell of an introduction that you gave me. Guys, I have to tell you this about Kunal. We worked together in EasyTap, and he was this little lad, working with the other TA partners, trying to, grab hold of things and seeing what to grab and how to move ahead. From then to now, the way he's come up and the way his career has shaped up, I've been an audience to it, and I immense respect and kudos to him, the way he's been able to just come so far in the journey, and today taking, me as a guest in his own podcast channel. So thank you so much, Kunal, for this opportunity.
Welcome, Shinda. So today I'm going to interview you.
Yes. Yes, guys. So, my name is Shinda Shivaji, and I have spent the last 16 years in the world of sales, customer success, and revenue leadership across SaaS, fintech, and now AI. So, basically, in roles where people, performance, and pressure, all of them come together. So, obviously, I didn't start my career thinking that, I'll be talking about talent acquisition on a podcast, specifically by Kunal. But over the years, I've realized that almost every success story or failure story in business has one common root: the people you hire. From building inside sales team right from the scratch, scaling customer success, working with partners, to now leading the customer success in the AI domain, I have had an opportunity to be right in the front and to see on how the right hire can change the energy of a team and how the wrong ones can actually change your cycle. So essentially, I have worked with TA partners in early stage chaos, hypergrowth madness, and structured enterprise setups as well. Of course, startups is the essential thing I'd like to keep the conversation around, but then it's going to be an amalgamation of my journey throughout. So talent acquisition to me is not just about filling positions, guys. It's about shaping culture, speed, and the future of the company. So today I'm really looking forward to share these lovely real stories, a few honest mistakes, and some strong opinions on how the TA world has evolved and how AI is changing and what really makes a great TA business partnership.
Well, I'm sure, Shinda, we will look for a lot of some real stories, I'm sure. Especially even I would see if something comes from the easy tap days.
Absolutely.
Of course, we'll also would like to see your the mistakes as well and what will be your learnings towards it so that our listeners don't commit those mistakes.
Absolutely.
So Shinda, moving to the next, I would like to really know, and my listeners would like to really know a quick, your career journey so far. Would like to deep dive into that.
Guys, I'm just amongst all of you, one of you, many of you, and every one of you. So,
You can't be everyone,
I,
Shinda.
well, upcoming ones or the budding ones. So,
Okay.
Kunal, if I look at my career journey in phases, it really started on the ground. I'll be extremely um, you know uh, frank about it. I began in marketing and client servicing back in Delhi. This was 2009, where I learned the basics the hard way: how to talk to customers, how to listen, how to handle rejection, and how to stay humble. That's the most important thing. These things are not taught, but luckily I had good mentors back then who taught me these essential traits and skill sets. So at that stage, I didn't fully understand things like long term career planning or leadership. But what I did learn was resilience, communication, and the value of earning trust. So that foundation shaped how I look at people and performance even today, or even when it comes to my team. So my next big phase was essentially moving into high growth tech, fintech, and SaaS-based companies like PayU, EasyTap, and later Instamojo, and now Robin Home. My last stint. Everything there was at a completely different speed, you guys. I mean, I'm sure my listeners would relate if you guys are from startups. It's at different levers. No two quarters are the same, and no two levers are the same as well. Targets were aggressive, learning curves were steep, and teams were scaling real fast. That's where I got my first real exposure to building teams, hiring at scale, and managing performance in fast changing environments. So, one key realization, Kunal, during this phase was that no matter what, how strong your process is, the quality of your people makes the biggest difference. You know, great people can work with imperfect systems, but the best systems fail with the wrong people. That's something that I've really.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Yes. And then after that, I think came a transition. I mean, like all of us would have in our journeys, I had as well, from being an individual contributor to becoming a people's leader. Like most first time managers, I made mistakes, trying to do too much by myself, not taking names, because I'm sure there are going to be a lot of my ex teammates part of it. They know who I'm talking about, though. Not
I share
delegating.
with them personally.
Yes, absolutely. A few of them we know as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not delegating enough and assuming everyone would think the way I did. So over time, as I built the inside sales team, customer success teams, I learned that leadership is really about enabling others to succeed, Kunal.
True.
And this
Yes.
is where, my partnership with talent acquisition team became extremely critical. So the difference between one wrong hire and one right hire could change not only the energy, but also the performance and culture of an entire team.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's always a saying, right? This
Mhm.
that saying is in Hindi. एक गंदी मछली पूरी तालाब को गंदा कर देती है. I'm not
Absolutely.
sure how to put that in English, but
Absolutely.
but yeah, that's what I think, Shinda. I think you're bang on to that.
Absolutely. Obviously, right, we learned the hard way. And things were very different back then. When I see differences between what it is right now and what it used to be previously, there's a huge difference, right? So back then, as teams and organizations grew, my dependency on the TA evolved as well. So earlier it was more about, I'm sure Kunal you'd relate, right? It was more about filling roles quickly.
Yeah.
भरो भरो भरो, 4 लोग लेने, 5 लोग लेने, 6 लोग लेने. But I think later it became about building long-term capability. We have, of course, seen how one great hire can lift the performance of an entire team, specifically startups. And I've also
Yeah.
experienced on how on how one wrong hire can cause months of effort, morale, focus, psyche. You know, those experiences made me deeply appreciate the strategic role of a team. So, having said that, over time, my role also expanded beyond just leading a function to becoming more of a business partner. So, working closely with the GTM, product, revenue, and customer success, which actually gave me a very broader perspective on how hiring decisions directly impacts business outcomes like customer satisfaction, growth, retention. You start clearly seeing that hiring is not just a HR activity; it's a business decision with real financial and cultural consequences. Last role, where I was leading the customer success in an AI startup, my perspective was even more mature and long term. So I looked at not only hiring current skill sets, but mindsets as well, their learning ability, the ownership. My expectations from TA also evolved accordingly. So I look for partners who can think along with me, but also a step forward where they're looking ahead, think ahead, understand future skills, and help build teams that can grow with the company, not just today's role filling part of it, right? So if there's one
Wow.
thread that connects my entire journey, Kunal, it's the importance of people. People, people, people. Every phase of growth, every success, and every setback has had a people story behind it. And I mean, of course, guys, I would love to go on and on about it, but then in favor of time, I of course can't give you stories. But what I can say is building trust, hiring the right talent, and scaling with quality has consistently made the difference between short-term wins and long-term success.
Yeah, sure. In one point, Shinda, you were talking about that you work closely with other teams as well, like, with GTM, product revenue, customer success. Which of these teams you enjoyed the most? I know you would be enjoying more working with the HRs, but I won't take that now.
Uh,
tell me, tell me which one did was more encouraging, more motivational, and to learn more about the business. Which of these teams were
in
most
customer success.
have, okay.
Without even letting you complete, I think a bang on customer success for sure. To an extent, product also, but I think I would relate to customer success because um, I feel home where I feel and face customers. Customer success
Mm,
is important because sale ho gaya, but what
mm,
after that? You know,
true.
the referrals, the fact that a customer purchases or buys from you for a product or for a service is definitely because of the brand and the logo that you carry, but it's also the personal brand. Kunal Banerjee, Shinda Shivaji. That is why customers buy. Or if you don't
Right.
keep your services post sale consistent, you're just going to lose the
Oh,
race. Not
exactly. So
yeah,
I feel customer success is where you can start doing all the cross selling, upselling, all these
absolutely.
sellings that happens. That is the main major point of contact, and specifically the kind of businesses you were into. It plays a key role over there.
Absolutely. Why would a customer, you know, buy, let's say, instead of your, monthly plan or yearly plan? क्यों लेगा वो? वो इसलिए लेगा
Mm,
because your post-sale service or your consistency in giving him the services right from day one was absolutely even and consistent, rather n plus one up till the 100th day.
right. Do you also think people in this domain also plays a major role for a company's customer success team? Let's say today Shinda Shivaji goes to another company. Her brand is already going to that company. Do you think, okay, if she is coming here, I know her personally, definitely customer success. Does that matter? Does that happens, right?
Absolutely, truly, deeply, और कोई भी ली है तो just take it along. I can't agree more on this. It is
Yeah.
definitely, and that is where the TA plays an important role, right? हमसे पहले ही, people at the mid and at the senior level, you guys can see that, okay, if at all not on resume, what does this person get to the table? And, what are the capabilities कि कितना learn कर सकता है, कितना सीख सकता है, what is the stretch that he can take working in a startup or even in an enterprise based setup. So definitely the brand goes along with the candidate wherever he or she goes, and of course the TA plays an essential role in it.
Yeah. Building up your team, who was your best team member? let's
This
let's
is
go into
like
something quickie and funny.
this is like
Hey,
guys, Kunal is putting me in a in
the
a
spot.
terrible deep down soup. But
Interrogations
apart
time.
from मम्मी आपको मैं पसंद है, मेरा भाई पसंद है. The standard reply any mother would give, beta, you are my two eyes. So
You
I'll
can't
take
dodge that bullet. You can't dodge that bullet, Shinda.
see, I can't pick one. See, let's take that with a pinch of salt. I really cannot take one name because every organization was different, every phase was different, every expectation from a particular team was different. And I think my team, everyone who's listening, not listening, or whatever it is, right? Hands down, I take immense pride in sharing that I had the best of talent throughout. And I rarely had attrition throughout my journey.
Especially what Shinda told, no attrition and all. I have worked with her, so I know. Even though I was not filling the positions that she had, I had another colleague who was working with her. But her team size was amazing, well, fun to work with. Guys, if you're listening, I'll personally share this link to you. Please do listen. But truly, no attrition, and you guys were fun to work with. Even though I was not a part of Shinda's team, but I know how motivated and fun-loving these people were. They're like just like me. They're also kids in Shinda's team, but they were like fun to work with.
I'll just share. I mean, okay, you wanted me to take names, right? If in case Prabhav is listening, hey Prabhav, there you go. Yet again, I take your story. So there was this instance, right, where there were just walk-ins that we had. This was back in EasyTap, and I had to recruit for the inside sales team. I just recruited Prabhav. I just asked him to sing a song. He just played. He pretended he's playing a guitar, and he just sung a song. And I recruited him only for his presence of mind because he did not have a guitar, but he pretended as if he has a guitar and he was enjoying the song that he was playing. And there you go. Today he is part of one of the enterprise sales team in, I think, PayU, if I'm not wrong, and doing fantastically well. And I take immense pride in whatever he's done and learned.
Prabhav, I know you very well. You can definitely pull this off.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's take some serious hats. I'll definitely try to bring some more fun into this conversation, but let's get deep dive into into the TA world, your experience, exposure on working with TA, how it is, how do you think this has evolved? So, would like to shift the gears and talk about what do you think about importance of a TA in an organization, whether it's a startup or an enterprise. It depends the scale, but what's the importance according to your lens?
See, Kunal, talent acquisition is no longer just about filling open positions. Think about a scenario, back then or even now. Now it's very different, but then back then, hey, I need to recruit 10 people. This is the JD done. No, it's not about filling positions anymore. It's about shaping the future of the organization. Every strategy, every growth plan, every product roadmap eventually gets executed by people. And TA is the one who those people are. In my experience, a strong TA function directly impacts three things: speed, quality, and culture. Speed, because in fast growing companies, delays in hiring can actually slow down revenue, delivery, and customer experience. I've been there, and guys, trust me when I say that. Quality, because the difference between an average and a great hire compounds over time in performance, in team morale, or be it even in the leadership pipeline. And culture, because the first few hires in any team define how decisions are made, how collaboration happens, and how ownership is taken overall. I've also seen that the best TA teams don't just act as recruiters, they act as business partners. They really understand.
Absolutely.
They do understand, your business context, the kind of problem the team is solving. They go deep down. It's not an email which is exchanged. They block your calendar. They, catch up over coffee. They spend those 15, 20 minutes in understanding, hey, Shinda, what are the kind of problems that you're trying to solve? What is the kind of mindset that is needed to solve them? They challenge hiring managers when required. They help define the roles clearly. Kitni baar hua hai, I'm not clear what I want. but my TA team or the TA partners have really helped me bring a market perspective on the talent availability and expectation. So a long story cut short, for me, TA is not a support function just sitting on the side. It's a strategic lever for growth. The quality of your TA function often determines the quality of your leadership, the strength of your teams, and ultimately the success of your business.
That's a very amazing point that you got, Shinda, over here. The one sentence which I liked a lot. It's TA is not just a support function; it's a strategic lever for your growth. So, guys who are in the TA function, you are working amazingly well. Take pride in it, right? You may
Absolutely.
think it's a support job, but it's not. You are shaping up the company, you're shaping up the team, you're bringing business, you're building products, you are engineering things, which other companies might not do it. A good TA who has good brand value is anyways bringing great talents as compared to the teams or the companies who don't have those values. So, I mean, it's a great point, Shinda, which you got over
And
here as
Kunal,
a
just to
strategic.
add to that, TA, guys, all of you out there, I think in addition to whatever Kunal has just, added right now, what I'd like to probably, put the final nail in the coffin is just the fact that you help determine right from concocting till execution, build a candidate's brand value as well, right? Not only in organization A, but your relationship is so good. Let's say if that particular candidate goes to organization B, your relationship building is so good that he or she will automatically reach out to you, helping you with some referrals or asking you for
Oh,
feedback.
yes. Yes, that's absolutely true, Shinda. I mean, once a relationship is built well, it just works out so well, actually. For everybody, for the candidates, for the TA, for the HMs, anyone across this circle of hiring, it just helps everybody.
Absolutely.
So there's one thing which you called out, Shinda, like the mindset change, right? So how did you felt when you saw that this mindset of the TA is changing from going from order taking to literally going to that strategic seat on the table, right? What's your thought process on it? Like, how did you perceive this entire change?
There is a big difference. I'm extremely glad that you brought that point right now. Many of you folks, right? I mean, the TA team, you guys would be thinking, "Arey yaar, order de diya, ab bas isko execute karo." No, 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 my dear friends. There's a big difference between TA being treated as an order taker and TA acting as a true business partner. An order taker mindset is when the conversation starts and ends with, "Hey, here's the JD, please close this role quickly." Khatam. It focuses on speed, numbers, and successes measured by how fast a position is filled. In that model, recruiters are reactive, and the long term impact on team performance or culture often gets missed. I'm sure you guys would relate to what I'm saying.
Yeah,
However, a true business partner, on the other hand, starts by understanding the problem the business is trying to solve or your organization is trying to solve. They then ask questions like, "Hey, what will success in this role look like in 6 months? What kind of person will thrive in this team? What gaps are we trying to fill? Is it skills? Is it mindset? Is it leadership or future readiness?" They truly bring market insights. They challenge unrealistic expectations and help shape the role, not just fill it.
true, true. Yeah, I mean, it's basically so guys who are listening, not from the TA segment, like basically the TA has moved from being reactive to proactive. That's where the entire game changes. That's an
Absolutely.
amazing point. That's an amazing point, Shinda. We'd like to deep dive into your experience in working with these TA folks. If we can get some few examples of your work with them, your understanding, your learnings, which you never had, would like to know about it.
Well, so Kunal is essentially, guys, asking me to, squeeze in 16 years of experience in just few minutes and few seconds. Well,
Five
not not
minutes.
not an
Let's take five
unrealistic
minutes.
expectation.
Yeah.
See, I have worked very closely with talent acquisition teams across different phases of my career, right from early stage startups to fast scaling SaaS and fintech organizations. And my experience has shown me very clearly how much impact a TA has on business outcomes. For example, at EasyTap, right, when we were in a hyper growth phase, building inside sales and enterprise teams across India. We needed people who could handle ambiguity, startup pressure, and complex enterprise conversations. I remember, hiring two profiles for a similar role, where one was from a large corporate background and another was from a startup environment. On paper, the corporate profile looked stronger, as any one of us would, thoroughly would see. But the startup hardened candidate ramped faster, adapted better, and eventually he became the, top performer. So that experience, Kunal, taught me how critical it is for TA to understand context and culture fit, not just the skill fit.
Mm.
Similarly, at Instamojo, I remember where we were, probably trying to scale up our pre-sales team at a much larger volume and at a very steep timeline. This was 2023 December. I remember my partnership with TA evolved further. We moved from just filling roles to clearly defining what success in the first 60, 90 days looked like. We work together to shift the focus from years of experience to attributes like, problem solving, communication, resilience, coachability, adaptability, etc. So as a result, early attrition reduced and productivity improved. That's when I truly started seeing TA as a strategic partner rather than a strong sourcing function, as how it was all these years. And similarly, in my last role at Robin Home, an early stage AI startup, every single hire had a disproportionate impact on culture and speed. There were situations where roles were urgent, but the TA advised slowing down because of cultural or mindset misalignment. So it was uncomfortable in the short term, I'll be honest there. But the eventual hires turned out to be high ownership individuals who contributed far beyond their job descriptions. So this again reinforced my belief that TA is the custodian of long-term organization health, not just, short-term hiring targets.
So how did that TA understood what you were looking for so that you can build a better team?
Spending time.
Maybe in your, maybe in, in few of your recent experiences. No, just let's not talk about just about EasyTap. Maybe any company you can pick up. How did that rapport built up with the TA that they understood what you actually wanted?
I was honestly, I'll be, a little, what do I say? Lenient towards the TA team. I've had the opportunity. In fact, I was blessed to work with the greatest of TA teams ever. Um, because it was startup, it was more like a close knit family. They also
Mm,
understood the vision along with us.
mm,
So it was kind of a trickle down effect from the management, from the top management, where everyone understood what are our long term visions, what is it fragmented into, what is that you need to be hiring. Also, the time that the TA spent, like I kept reiterating in the past half an hour probably, they took time to understand what is that we are looking at, not only in a order taking manner, but also in a reactive manner as a business partner as to, hey, this will work out, this won't work out, this may work out, can we take a chance? So it was face to face conversations. It was, taking time out to actually understand what the business is looking at.
mm. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, a good TA partner will definitely understand the business very quickly as compared to like the regular TA. But yeah, that's a great point that you call it. It in startup, but mostly it's like kind of a family, well knitted, and you have to be lenient. Things moves very fast over there, so of course, yeah, you get a ground zero impact on to see what you have built. So tell me one thing, Shinda. Since you started working with the TA,
Mhm.
since your journey, how do you see the TA world has evolved? since, I mean, your career journey. Maybe you can also tell about when you were a candidate.
Mhm.
Then the experience that you're getting and what once you become a manager, that experience. So how much it has evolved.
Well, when I started my career, talent acquisition was, all of us know, was largely a transactional function.
Yes, yes,
It was just transactional. The focus was on filling open positions, right from, let's say, Infosys of the world to the smallest of startups, right? Coordinating interviews and closing offers, you know. KRA ही ऐसा था, आज कितने ऑफर रोल आउट हुए, आज कितनी स्क्रीनिंग हुई,
yes,
that sort of a thing, right?
yes,
So success was measured mainly by how fast roles were closed and how many positions were filled, right? Over the years, TA has evolved into a much, much more strategic role, right? Today, it's deeply involved in workforce planning, employer branding, diversity, inclusion, and building future ready capabilities, right? The TAs are now expected to understand business strategy, growth plans, and even future skill requirements, not just, filling current vacancies. So technology has been indeed a big driver of this entire change. And we have moved from manual resume screening and spreadsheets to ATS platforms to AI driven sourcing, data analytics, and automation. This has, of course, helped the TA unit to improve speed, scale, but also has raised expectations around process quality and candidate experience.
true, true. The thing is, what you told is, so there's one thing that is coming up over here because there will be a lot of recruiters who are coming from that 90s ages and all where the things were more transactional. So
Yes,
somehow when they become grow as a leader, sometimes they don't want to change. And the transactional thing is still there. Although they want to use the technology, but again, the transactional piece is just not going out. No, spreadsheets and everything are still there. But
yeah,
on top of it, the layer of technology is also there. So that's what I want to call it out. How I see, like, because I'm working with TA leaders and all, somehow I feel that they're still on that transactional piece as well. Right. We can continue more on to this.
So, another major shift that I noticed was the power balance in my journey, right? Earlier, it was more employer driven. Today, it's a two-way market where candidates have more choices, and TA
Yes.
plays a critical role in engaging, influencing, and building trust with talent. Something that I just
Yes.
spoke about a while ago.
Yes.
So I feel
Absolutely.
TA today, Kunal, is not just about meeting today's hiring needs. It is about shaping the organization of tomorrow.
Absolutely. No, I mean, that's absolutely true because a good TA can build a team, can either make or a break strategy. The TA is good, working completely well with the HM or the stakeholders or the business. They both can make a truly amazing machine.
Correct.
But if it is not, I'm sorry to say, whoever is listening, they might disagree with me, but you might not will be able to make a good team. To be very honest, right?
Absolutely.
So right. So coming over here, like, since you already told Tia as a business partner versus an order taker, let's deep dive into that thought. Like since you called it out, so I want to go more deep dive into that. So what what made you say that okay now it has moved from business partner versus an order taker?
Like I said, right, an order taker mindset is where the conversation is like, JD's here, close this role, how many numbers, kitna screening kiya, more of a reactive mindset.
Yeah,
However, a true business partner, you guys, you really need to, probably if you're catching up with someone or, grabbing coffee, just keep that aside and listen to just this bit that I'm saying. A true business partner starts by understanding the problem the business is trying to solve. Do understand and give their perspective also as to, hey, how does success look to you in this role for the next 6 months, fragment it down to 3 months, and then let's say a month. That's how detailed and deep the TA goes. What kind of person will thrive in this culture of my current organization, right? Hey, I do see there's a huge gap here. Will this candidate fit in here? Is it that, I'm just trying to fill the position, or am I trying to fill in skills, mindset, and future readiness as well, right? So from my
True.
experience, the best TA partners I have worked with have had the confidence to say no, to recalibrate, and to push back when needed. So please learn to say no. Learn to say
Mm,
this would work, this won't work. Push back.
no.
You
Yeah.
don't source resumes. You have come to a point where you guys have started influencing decisions. You've even coached the hiring managers and protected the long term health of any organization.
Absolutely true, Shinda.
When TA is actually treated as an order taker, hiring becomes a transaction. And the
Mm,
quality of teams you build is the difference between the two. Where, you know, if you're an order taker, the quality of your recruitment will speak. Vis-a-vis, if you're a business partner, your future readiness and the quality of the candidate will speak as well, eventually.
true. Shifting the gear, since now we're also talking about resumes, JDs, and all as well. So our work is purely dealing up with, even with when you are a hiring manager dealing up with resumes, you go check LinkedIn profiles.
How do you
I
guys
want
send
to
across?
go, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's our bread and butter, Shinda. Please don't take that away from us. But
Yeah,
changing the
right.
gears.
I'll tell you when, as a someone who's on the other side, and when you guys, this is convention, guys. Remember, back then, 10-12 CVs. I used to feel, अरे यार कोई बैठ के please screen this. I wish I had AI back then.
Yeah. So, changing the gears now on the resumes piece, like, how do you really assess potential and mindset beyond, like how you're doing the hiring beyond these resumes? How do you assess potential and mindset? I mean, I'm sure you're talking to candidates. Sometimes they even fake as well. But how do you really make sure that, okay, ye banda hai, yaar, wow. How do you assess that wow factor so that this guy is going to be a photo guy in my team?
So here's a cheat sheet, right? Not a cheat sheet, but a cheat point, right? It's happened many times. I think with experience, this comes in. To be very
Mhm.
honest, but with all due respect to all the candidates that I've interviewed or I would interview in the future, in the first 5 to 10 minutes, I know whether that's the girl or the boy that I want in my team.
Mm,
Honest, the resumes actually tell you where someone has been, not what they're capable of becoming, right? When
true.
hiring, especially in fast changing environments like startups, assessing potential and mindset is far more important than just checking boxes on experience. You know, I have seen people with perfect resumes struggle because they lacked adaptability, ownership, or learning agility. You know, but I've also seen people with unconventional backgrounds become top performers because they had the right attitude, curiosity, and resilience. I mean, ask any of my previous team members. I'd literally ask them, keep the resume aside, sell this, market to me. I have done that. So it really goes beyond resumes. To assess potential, I usually look for a few things on how someone thinks through problems. How do they talk about failures, whether they take ownership of outcomes, and how quickly can they learn and unlearn. Very, very important, guys.
Yeah,
Questions,
true.
around real life situations, trade-offs that they've made, and how have they handled ambiguity often reveals, far more than a list of roles in companies. I've done this, I've done that,
Yeah, true.
right? So mindset is about, Kunal, whether a person sees challenges as obstacles or opportunities. That was the key defining factor for me when I used to talk to candidates. You used to know, throw a problem. Do they see the problem as problem, or they are attempting to solutionize the problem? Whether they
Mhm.
wait for instructions or they take initiative, and whether they're comfortable being uncomfortable. This was the most important thing because see, skills can be trained, Kunal, but mindset
Yes,
is much harder to change.
no, absolutely true, Shinda. Can you give me some cheat sheets of your more questions?
Okay,
I'm sure
so
you. I'm sure you may have to change those questions later on and take
yeah,
for taking next
I mean,
round of interviews.
like an open book, guys. I mean, lay low, pad low, let's work together. As far as you are comfortable being uncomfortable, then you and I are, the birds of the same feather, to be honest, right? So one was
Oh,
definitely
that's a
this. Then one was definitely this that, you know, I don't want to speak anything that's in your resume. Let's speak something outside your resume. Or give a situation which has got nothing to do with work, but some situation, let's say you have this X situation. How would you
mhm.
go and handle it with limited sources? And the most important thing and the most funny part used to be the third point that I used to ask is I used to ask the candidate to interview me for the same role.
Mm, okay, interesting,
That gives
interesting.
used to give me the thinking capability. क्या पूछ सकता है वो? क्या किस extent तक will he, sort of tickle his creative mindset to get the right questions, and that used to ease in off the pressure as well. There used to be some chuckle, some laughter here and there. The moment the candidate goes, comfortable, you can then go on asking questions which are not on resume, and you trust me, Kunal, you'll have the real answers. The truth,
Yeah,
nothing but the truth.
so that's a great strategy. I'm sure you might have to change that later on.
Absolutely.
You just leaked your question paper now.
I didn't have an option.
No, this actually happened with me. Like, funny thing that, while you were talking this, I was just going into my memory lane. This was my first job right after the college, right? Campus placements, we went to there. To everyone, they asked one question. Whoever got shortlisted in the test, they were interviewing them. And while interviewing them, the founder was asking them questions on, okay, sell me this pen. I was the last guy, right? I was the last guy. And this was back in 2014, right? Just a small kid out of college. When my turn came, this guy changed that question. You remember, I was just setting up that entire how to sell that pen, making all the strategy and everything. This guy gave me a different question. He told me to sell a car. From pen to car, can you believe that? My complete strategy went off. I don't know what blabbering I did, but somehow it worked. And I even got the job as well.
Wow. See, that's what guys see, presence of mind. This is exactly
Yeah.
what we look at.
No, truly, yeah. Shifting the gears, since you got about one very interesting point about the experiences, you're asking the candidate to ask you questions and all. So tell me about this candidate experience which you as a hiring manager, you are giving, which is actually making a big difference. I mean, of course, TA, we definitely try our best to do that. But at the end, it's the HMs and the team members' work as well. So what's your, thoughts about it?
Candidate experience, in my view, actually, what actually makes a difference is clarity, communication, and closure. Clarity on what the role is really all about, what the process will look like, and what success means. Candidate experience is not about fancy portals or automated emails. It's about how respected, informed, and valued a person feels throughout the process. I've been there. It till date,
Mm.
I've been there, and I really enjoy when there is a thorough process to every step, right from, let's say, the word hello when I pick the call and speak, the communication in terms of timely updates, honest feedback, and transparency, even when the answer is a no. Guys, please take this. I mean, I'll again and again reiterate it. Please let the candidate know, even if it is a no. I highly respect such organizations and TA units that, don't leave the candidates in the dark, because silence creates a far worse impression than rejection psychologically as well.
Mm. Right.
What I've
Shinda,
seen, yeah.
unfortunately, what I've seen in those topics, right? Because since we like the HMs and TA, they
Mhm.
deal with such a big, large volume. Sometimes
Absolutely.
this is just, it's not their fault that they don't want to do it. It just gets missed out. Few people, I understand, they do it deliberately. They don't want to share anything. But few
Hmm.
people, they really want to, but they miss it out. And that's where the
Hmm.
ATS systems and all comes in. The generalized messages goes in. The,
Hmm.
the point is how, if the candidate comes back and asks you, okay, can you give me some points? That's where the challenge comes in. That's where
Yeah.
only few companies have mastered this trade, that okay, they reach out to them, let them know what went good, what went wrong. Their TA get on call if required, and then they tell them. This is a story of only few organizations.
Hmm.
Not
See,
not everybody, everybody has copied this model.
See, Kunal, okay, not only to you, but to all the listeners out there, right? Let me flip the question. When you get or when you screen or when you shortlist a candidate's profile, which is like, let's say, 110 on 100 of what you're looking at, don't you put your heart, mind, soul in chasing the person? उसको 100-200 बारी कॉल्स कर करके जब तक उसके से बात नहीं होती, डोंट यू चेज हिम और हर डाउन? Similarly, get your processes in such a way that communication is clear.
Mm,
Because
right.
this candidate may not be a fit today, but tomorrow when you reach out, he picks up with a smile and not
Yeah.
with a sour experience that, intentionally or unintentionally happened last time.
Yeah. True. No, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, so
Because
from what
because
I've seen,
this world is very small actually. You
yeah,
never know whom you're going to bump.
yeah. So, what I'm saying was, Kunal, what I have seen from my experience is that small human touches go a long way. A TA who explains as to why a candidate wasn't selected, a hiring manager who is prepared and present in the interview, and a process that respects time and doesn't drag on unnecessarily. These things do get remembered. And I am one of those candidates who's experienced this both ways, right?
Mm,
So when
yeah.
what a company says in its job description, interviews, and employer brand matches what actually candidate experiences, trust gets built, you guys.
Mm, right. True. True. Shifting the gears, Shinda, that was a great point that you called out about the candidate experience. Uh, communication, of course, but unfortunately, like I said, like I called it out, these are
Hmm.
only a few companies who have mastered this trait right now. Not everybody can copy that. Sometimes it's unintentional, but sometimes it's intentional. I have also seen companies or recruiters do it intentionally. They don't
Hmm.
want to, right? That gives a very bitter taste to the candidates. They don't even want to. Next time, if you reached out to them, they won't be
Absolutely.
interested in your company.
Absolutely.
Absolutely
Well
right.
said.
You called it out.
Yep.
So how to build? Now coming to again back to the TA thing. Like of course we are in the TA thing from the beginning, but again, how do you what do you suggest to build a better stakeholder management between TAs and the HMs, and then to strengthen it properly?
See, essentially, I feel it starts with a mindset shift, Kunal, from service provider and customer to two partners solving the same business problem. First, the alignment on expectations is extremely critical. The TAs and the HMs need clarity on what success in the role actually looks like, not just the JD. That means
Mhm.
discussing outcomes, the team dynamics, the challenges that they're likely to face in the first 90 days, what kind of personality and mindset will work. The more context the TA has, the better the quality of hiring would be. Second, communication has to be continuous, not just transactional. Regular check ins,
Right.
honest feedback on candidate quality, and transparent conversations about market realities. It helps build trust. So when a TA can openly say, this profile is rare, or we need to recalibrate expectations, and HMs are open to listening to this, partnerships become stronger, right? And
Yeah.
last but not the least, I feel mutual accountability is extremely critical as well. Hiring is not
Oh
just TA's responsibility.
yes. Thank God someone is calling it out
Yes,
on my podcast.
absolutely, guys. Absolutely. अरे अगर लोग लेने हैं, it is not just the TA's responsibility. It is interview quality, the timely feedback, decision making speed from HMs directly impacts candidates' experience and closure rates. So when both sides outcomes sort of gets intertwined together, friction reduces. And the most
Right.
important part where you're gonna, lot me even more is the respect for each other's expertise and time. That really makes a big
Yes.
difference.
Oh, absolutely. Giving time is the most because there's a saying HM or the stakeholder who invests time with their TA, they get
Mhm.
more better candidates in a timely manner rather than the HMs who are not invested in their TA partners.
Yes. When actually
These are
both
the, these are
sides.
the HMs who actually
Mhm.
still think TA as a transactional business partner,
Yes,
not as
yes.
a proper TA partner.
It's very important for any HM to know the responsibility is equally his or her. When both sides value and leverage these strengths, the relationships moves from operational coordination to strategic collaboration. And that's when hiring truly becomes a competitive advantage, not only for the organization, but for the candidates as well.
Got it. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. So Shinda, I mean, moving to the next, changing the gears. But first, I would like to understand, what all AI tools you are currently using at the moment. Because since you spoke about the AI part in the beginning, you are working with the AI startup. What are AI tools
Mhm.
which you are using for your day-to-day tasks?
Okay, so currently I'm using the very normal ones, which ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity. These are the foundation of, I think, all the AI tools. And because I've recently started working in the AI domain, I think more than using it on how to effectively give the prompts is more important. And that's what, I have been able to learn up till now.
Awesome. Well, why I asked that question because now the gear is moving from just 200 kilometers to 1,000 kilometers per hour because now we are entering the AI segment of this podcast. Because there's one person who came to my podcast and told that if you are not discussing about AI, that meeting or the discussion is not complete. So here we are. But we'll try to, bring that to AI in TA. So what's your, thought process or what's your thinking about AI in the TA, whether is it good or is it not good, or till what extent it can be used. I know that in the beginning you called out one thing about, okay, hey, if I had AI at that time to screen resumes, these 10 to 15 resumes, that would have been saved my life,
Yes, yes,
right?
absolutely. See, I think AI has definitely been a game changer everywhere, more so in talent acquisition as well. But I feel wherever a department is or any function is people heavy, I see AI being more of an enablement function than a replacement. On the operational side, I feel AI can bring huge efficiency, hands down, sourcing at scale, something that I mentioned, resume screening, matching skills, scheduling, and even predicting attrition or, let's say, success patterns. This helps TA to save time on repetitive tasks and focus more on what actually they should be doing on matters, let's say conversations, judgment, and relationship building. Let's understand, guys, all of you, right? Hiring is ultimately a human decision, and AI can never take a call on what profile needs to be closed for what role. It can guide you. However, the cultural fit, motivation, learning agility, integrity, and how someone shows up in ambiguity, these are things no algorithm can fully capture.
Oh, absolutely. Algorithms can't do all these things. It's at the end, it's a human game. We as a TA or the HMs, we are dealing with human brains, not softwares and all, which you can program and an algorithm can find it out. So great point. That's an amazing punchline that AI definitely can't replace your job, your TA's job completely. It comes to you as a helping hand.
Absolutely. The future, guys, all of you must be thinking, "Arey yaar, AI aa gaya, meri naukri chali gayi, ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya." Please listen to what I'm saying. The future is not AI versus TA. It's AI plus TA. Organizations that use AI to enhance speed and insight while still relying on human judgment for final decisions are there to go. They are raring to go. They will build stronger, more diverse, and more resilient teams.
No, very simple example. One of my friend told me about when I was talking to him about the future with AI. He just simply gave me just one simple example. Earlier, we used to have only landline phones, but then the mobile phones came in. Slowly, we started accepting that change. And today, if you see, landlines are still there, but the phones where they have reached. That's the change that we have embraced and see where we have reached. Now you never know. It's all about embracing it, taking the next steps ahead.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So how
I
do you
believe,
think,
yeah,
yes,
so I
sorry.
believe that, when it comes to AI in TA, I believe AI will push TA to become more strategic. When machines handle the transactional parts and the TA is actually expected to act more like, talent advisors, understanding business needs, coaching hiring managers, shaping employer branding, and improving candidate experience. I think that's where, the difference would be. And that's what typically a TA should be doing as well.
Awesome. How do you see, the future with AI in place for the TAs?
Like I said, right, the future is not AI versus TA. It is AI
Hmm,
plus TA. They will go hand in hand. AI will help you to, sort of eliminate all your daily tasks and help you, enhancing speed and insight. However, human judgments, human interactions, uh, like I said, no algorithm can capture it fully. It has to be a human. It has to be TA.
got it. So since you're since you're talking about AI, one quick rapid fire question to you right now. Uh, do you want AI just as a software, or do you want AI as a hardware which can come do your household chores? Sorry.
Software is good enough for now. I cannot take an additional person inside my family anymore.
Awesome. What would be a quick, tips for candidates, to excel during the interview?
So I think all of us would not, सबका जूते का साइज एक नहीं है, सबका कपड़े का साइज एक नहीं है, right? So it should
Absolutely.
not be
Yes.
one tip universal for all the TAs across, all levels. So I feel one size does not fit all. So when I think about advice in three broad levels, I'll split it as early career, mid-level, and senior leaders. So people who are just starting early career, professionals, my biggest advice is to focus less on titles and more on learning. The more you grind now, the more would it reap you benefits later on. Choose roles and managers where you will get exposure, feedback, very important, and chance to build real skills. Curiosity, work ethic, attitude, they're far more visible in interviews than people realize. And they often matter more than bang on 10 resumes.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
true, true.
mid-level professionals, like people who come with certain years of experience, are moving towards senior leadership. It's about moving from execution to ownership. So at this stage, companies will look for people who can solve problems independently, influence others, and connect their work to business outcomes. You know, in interviews, instead of just talking about what you did, how you did, talk about why you did it. What
Mm.
trade-offs did you make? What impact did it have? This will help you in your next level, which is the senior leadership, where the focus shifts to vision, people development, and decision making in ambiguity. Organizations really want to see how you build teams, handle failures, and align with culture. So it's less about individual brilliance and more about how you create environments where others can also succeed. So please remember that careers are marathons, not sprints. The right fit matters more than the fastest offer.
Mm, right. And that's a great point, Shinda. As you are, breaking it down career-wise and the level-wise, it makes more sense.
Absolutely.
So
And I've
every
also had the opportunity to work with, all the three levels as well. So I can relate, and I just shared my learnings, uh, as to how at every level and what you should be looking at from a TA's perspective.
so basically, Shinda is saying लंबी रेस का घोड़ा बनना है.
Absolutely. क्यों नहीं यार? बनो.
बना? Cool, cool, cool. Since I already pushed one rapid fire question to you, I would again push few more rapid fire questions.
Bring it
Uh,
on.
bring it on. Yes, Shinda is always prepared. Party with colleagues or party with friends?
Ah, depends. I think it
You,
depends.
no, no, you can't answer that. You can't answer that.
What
Either this
time
or
of the
that.
day is it? Is it in the AM or is it in the PM?
Let's say PM.
I think party with friends.
This was this was diplomatic, I know, but okay, I'll give you points for that. Okay, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Weirdest food that you have eaten so far?
I think dragon fruit. Abhi recently I had, my daughter had this, weird, wish, Mama, I want to eat dragon fruit. I was like, okay. I was like, इसमें क्या था? Not kuch. So I felt it was really weird.
Okay, good. Holidays in beach or mountain?
Hands down, mountains any day.
Okay, more of a warmth. No, sorry, mountains are mostly cool.
They're cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yin or yang.
Yang.
But why?
यार मैंने अगर सारे आंसर्स और अपने सारे सीक्रेट्स तो फिर काय का रैपिड फायर इट वाज रैपिड फायर इट वाज
Rapid fire.
नॉट रैपिड फायर विद एक्सप्लेनेशन विद इलैबोरेशन
But in the first question, you asked for explanations. I still
well
gave
I
you the
sorry I
chance.
take that back but yeah rapid
It's
fire has to
okay.
be rapid.
Cool, cool, cool. We're coming to the almost on the end. So, Shinda, I would like to turn this towards the diversity side as well. Uh,
Yes.
women in sales and customer success. What was it earlier? What is it now? What's your take on that?
This happens to be my favorite question and topic, right? And I'm glad that you brought this up because I'm going to split this, being a woman myself, right, into
Yeah.
two parts, which is one, the challenges that we typically face and how do we actually overcome it, right? So women actually play a hugely important role in sales and customer success today, and I've had the privilege of working with and leading many high performing women across inside sales, enterprise sales, and customer success teams as well. In fact, some of the most consistent performers and strongest leaders I've seen in these functions have been women. I mean, with all due respect to men, because the question is such, so I have to, speak about women and the challenges that they face. Right, the challenges are real, guys. One is visibility and voice in high pressure sales environments. Women sometimes have to work harder to be heard. It's something that I've felt personally as well, especially in senior forums or during tough negotiations. And another is the constant balancing act between performance expectations and personal responsibilities, right? Which can become even more demanding in fast growing, target driven roles. So there's also this unconscious bias that still exists around leadership style. Assertiveness in men is often seen as confidence, while in women it can be misread.
Mm,
So having
true.
Spoken about these challenges. I mean, of course, all of it I have faced as well. How do you overcome this? I feel the very important thing or the step is by building strong business credibility, deep product knowledge, customer understanding, and consistent results speak louder than anything else. Second, by developing a strong point of view, being able to articulate insights, challenges respectfully, and taking ownership of those outcomes. Confidence actually grows manifold when you know your impact, when you know that you're irreplaceable. From an organizational and leadership perspective, it's also critical to create environments where women are supported through mentorship, flexible work structures, fair evaluation systems, and role models in leadership positions. So when women see others like them succeed, it changes what they believe is possible. So specifically in these two domains, right, which is sales and customer success, success is driven by empathy, communication, resilience, and relationship building. Qualities where many women naturally excel. So when these strengths are recognized, nurtured, and combined with equal opportunity and support, women don't just succeed in these roles, they often set the benchmark for excellence.
Got it. No, that's a great point, Shinda. The thing that you called out absolutely makes sense in today's world, and specifically women in this domain, like the sales and customer success that you have called it out. Uh, Amazing points. So, gentlemen, boys and girls, that was Shinda Shivaji sharing her experience, her perspective, and some funny thoughts. Not to forget a call out of one of her interview strategies, where she hired someone on the spot because the person was able to really enjoy that entire that conversation. Even if he didn't had the instrument, still he was able to enact that. And kudos to you, Prabhav, sharing her context about these TA space, about her context on women and their challenges in sales and customer success and how to overcome it. AI in TA, how it has helped, how it has evolved, how TA has moved from just an order taker, which is transactional or reactive, to a business partner, proactive persona, which can really make or break a company's strategy. Well, with that, Shinda, I would like to quickly thank you for giving your time and sharing your experiences, a wonderful story from ground zero to what you are today. It's an amazing story to hear. Few of the things even I was not aware when we were working together, but it was an amazing thing to go back to the memory lane and have some quick fun. Of course, the rapid fire rounds, some grilling in terms of okay, where TA is moving, your perspective. That was an amazing conversation, Shinda. Uh, Quick round of things like a few conclusion if you want to call it out from your conversation of what you really want to talk to the listeners would be very interesting to hear from you then.
थिंक ऑलरेडी इनको काफी बोर कर दिया है बात कर करके मैंने तो so I would just definitely would want to reach out to each and every listener saying that do what you feel is right and is the best, right? Please take some pointers with whatever I've been able to share, but you guys know it more than even any one of us do. I think aaj ka generation is like you guys are way smarter than all of us. Just go ahead, nail it. There's no rocket science in it. Stay grounded, stay humble, and thank you so much, Kunal, for actually giving me a platform where I could share my insights, my honest mistakes, like I said, my learning with all the budding TAs here, non-TAs, TAs here, and the rest of the world. I mean, I really thoroughly enjoyed reliving my career right from the start to up till now.
Absolutely. It was amazing. Like I said, it was amazing to talk to you, Shinda, to
Yeah.
get hold of you to have this conversation. Boys and girls, again, that was Shinda Shivaji to sharing her insights exclusively on the Recruiter Talks podcast. Hashtag for the recruiters by a recruiter. If you're not following the Recruiter Talks, what you're waiting for, please do follow, subscribe to get more such contents and more such new episodes only on Spotify Music.